Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:34 and Cheap Trick with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Well, it's going to be mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 30. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 28. It is a beautiful 5 degrees in downtown Springfield.
This show can go in any direction today. We are scheduled to talk to comedian Kathy Griffin, who's going to be at the Academy of Music next Thursday night. That might be good. We'll have to see. And there's also Open Line Friday today.
And also, not to scare anybody, but there's dangerous criminals on the loose running around Springfield. Lock your doors.
That's what I mean. It could go in any number of directions.
Like you need to be told to lock your doors in Springfield.
You should have a lock outside your lock.
That should have been a well-known thing years ago.
So there's that, and also Code Word Alexa coming up later on this morning.
Well, there you go.
Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Your Echo is ready.
The Amazon Echo Pop is like the new radio for your home, and you can listen to Rock 102 and Pink Floyd with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds with a high of 30 today. It is 5 in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Western Mass Masons for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Well. After winning the Golden Globe for The Substance, Demi Moore could win her second ever acting award because she's up for an Oscar for Best Actress.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, it's her first Oscar nomination, obviously, which, again, I watched One Crazy Summer the other day, and I thought she should have, for being Cassandra at the Dewdrop Inn.
Yeah.
She should have won an Oscar for that one.
That was a pure acting tour de force on that one.
And I'm surprised Bobcat Goldthwait didn't win Best Supporting Actor.
He got my vote.
But Amelia Perez earned a leading 13 nominations, which is a record for a non-English language movie. You lost me at non-English language movie. I am a man of simplicity and stupidity, and I cannot watch something with subtitles.
I'd rather not read a movie. It interrupts my Candy Crush.
That's true. How can you follow along if you have to read something on the screen?
I can't do it all.
Its nominations include Best Picture, Best Supporting Actress for Zoe Saldana, the Best Actress for Carla Sofia Gascon, and Wicked came away with 10 nominations, including Best Picture and acting nods for Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. And if Cynthia wins, she'll have an EGOT. What does that mean? Is that the place you go to down in Disney to do all the tour of drinking thing?
Steve, that's Epcot. EGOT is an Emmy, an Oscar, a Tony, and a Grammy.
No. That was that bull semen we were talking about the other day.
No, Steve. That's mascot.
All right.
You're thinking of the. It's kind of like a necktie, but it kind of goes under the collar a little bit. Ascot.
What is it?
It's an ascot.
I don't know. You're thinking of an ascot.
Well, you're right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm glad we got to that. The Brutalist also had 10 nominations, including Best Picture. The other Best Picture nominees are Anora, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, and The Substance. I don't know any of those
I haven't seen any of them.
Timothy Chalamet is up for Best Actor for A Complete Unknown, making him the second person to get 2 nominations in that category before the age of 30. James Dean did it first with East of Eden and Giant, both of which he earned after he died. Well, that was too bad.
Yeah, but it kept the acceptance speech rather short.
You know, isn't that nice? It's like going to that Mass Broadcasters thing and having that one guy, you're only allowed 7 minutes, and that one guy went on for 37 minutes.
I know.
Chalamet's first nomination was for Call Me By My Name. Nicole Kidman, Angelina Jolie, Selena Gomez, and Pam Anderson are among those who were snubbed.
It's too bad.
Well, you know what? Next time, Pam. We all know you're up for that. Ever since those Baywatch days, we know that you were up.
I've seen the kind of acting she's capable of. Her and Tommy Lee on that boat.
Yeah, that was
very realistic.
Was that the Swamp Donkey Chronicles? Is that what she was up for?
Yeah, I mean, you almost get the sense that she knew what she was doing and that she had done this before. Amazing acting.
Oscar nod.
Yes.
Fox is charging upwards of $7 million for a 30-second Super Bowl ad. And as usual, companies are trying to make it count by loading their commercials with celebrities. Here's what you're going to see. Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt will be in an ad promoting Meta's Ray-Ban glasses that allow you to take photos and video, listen to music, and take calls.
Great.
Doja Cat is already trying to photobomb her way into this year's Taco Bell ad despite their no celebrity rule. Okay. And all these commercials are out already. Whatever happened to the whole wait until the actual big game?
I don't know. I've never understood why you do that.
Post Malone and comedian Shane Gillis want to make Come On the new Was Up in this year's Bud Light ad. So they'll be doing that.
Oh, good. Something to look forward to.
Stella Artois.
Artois.
What did you just say?
Artois.
You can't say that on the radio.
I just did.
Is building up the reveal of David Beckham's long-lost twin brother, whom his parents named the other David. Snoozers. Drew Barrymore serenades Orlando Bloom poorly for MSC Cruises. And you can find all these on YouTube. You don't even have to wait till the big game. And then if you're not interested in the two football teams, you don't even have to watch the game at all.
Gonna miss that great halftime show.
Who is it? Do you know who it is?
Is it Kendrick Lamar?
You know, I don't know.
Or Menudo?
I think Menudo would have been a better choice.
I agree.
Is that the young Ricky Martin that was in Menudo?
He was,
yes.
Among other, maybe like 45 other people.
See, if we could do a Menudo reunion.
That would be fantastic.
That would be awesome. Have you ever changed your hair because of comments others made?
Nope.
Tan France from the Queer Eye just did. He just chopped off his salt and pepper pompadour on Christmas Eve after having the same hairstyle for 15 years. Quote, I looked at the comments about myself after the new season. I saw so many people hate my hair, and I thought, oh, I didn't realize they hated it so much, so maybe I'll try something new while I'm still relatively young.
Who is that?
That's that guy from that Queer Eye show.
Oh.
Tan says that fans thought the pompadour made him look uptight, even though he isn't. The only reason he had that hairstyle was because it's easy. I don't know who. I didn't know who this guy was until I just read this story.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't even recognize him in the picture. Usually, I can recognize people if you just show me who they are, because I never watched the show. But I don't even recognize this guy.
Now, did you do this story out of spite?
What do you mean?
Because this guy's got a full, luxurious head of hair, and
no, I did.
Some people in this room don't.
I did this story to get to the Kim Kardashian thing a little bit quicker because I'm just trying to fill time. Because otherwise you got a story about Bad Bunny, Camila Cabello, and some country music people I've never heard of.
Oh my God! Look at the time.
I know. How about that, huh? By the way, Flight Risk is in theaters this weekend.
Oh, good.
That's Michelle Dockery as an Irish air marshal escorting a witness, Topher Grace, across the Alaskan wilderness. Man, I can't. And she's forced to fly the plane after realizing that their pilot, Marky Mark, is actually a mob hitman.
No kidding. What a plot line that is.
I will always call him Marky Mark. I will never call him a Wahlberg.
To his face?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see about that.
Well, listen, like he's ever going to come here in the studio. Wahlbergs. What have they ever done with their lives? Why don't you go make some burgers?
That's more than the two of us have done.
Speaking of which, Kim Kardashian apparently eats at McDonald's and derails her diet when she's going through stressful situations, like, with all the fire stuff going on right now.
Just had something to say.
Oh, my God, the last time I had Mickey D's was when Ray J used his partially gelatinated Big Sack and McSqueeze burger to cover my Smaleo fish and testicle tartar in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
Well, that's what we do.
Caitlin?
Well, I never got that done and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but I once turned her into a goop gobbler. She took protein kisses direct from the testicle tap.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I gave her a nice big fat serving of cream of meat. That's gonad gravy's weird cousin. Still bland.
Right.
But filling.
But goes right to your thighs.
Oh, it goes right to your thighs. And that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102. Ugh.
Hi, it's Steve Mann.
Smash quarterback will be...
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Hey, let me switch things up a bit and talk about something that you're probably not going to care about, at least for now. As you know, the NFL coaching carousel has been spinning crazy over the last 2 weeks, and for good reason, as teams have been scouring the earth looking to fill all these great head coaching opportunities. The Patriots, Dallas, Chicago, the Jets, and others had to hire new coaches. Some have been successful already, others not so much. Surprisingly, I've heard very little chit-chat about who is going to be the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you want to know why? Because according to my sources, nobody gives a crap about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, before you say to yourself, hey, I don't give a crap about them either, let me see if I can transform that man-sized pile of apathy and turn things around for you. Yesterday, it was reported that the Jags are about to hire Tampa Bay offensive coordinator Liam Cohen as their new head coach. Now, stay with me here. While most people like us are not naturally prone to care about this, you should know that Liam Cohen was the former quarterback for the UMass Minutemen more than 21 years ago. From 2004 to 2008, Liam Cohen was right here in Western Mass for some of his most formative years of his life. For 4 years, Liam Cohen got to enjoy things like the Hobart Hoedown, the Blarney Bash, might even enjoyed himself in the Holyoke Road Race, the Castaway Lounge, the Big E. Maybe he went to the old Weed Festival at the Three County Fairgrounds. Heck, for all we know, the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars might have been a fan of Rock 102, Bacon Fest, Mayflower Marathon, and Tom Petty songs as far as the eye could see. That Liam Cohen. And while I have never in my life cared about the Jacksonville Jaguars, I feel a slight yet distant glimmer of pride in knowing that he was their guy. And that guy used to be one of us. Not enough pride to care about the crummy team he's supposed to turn around, but enough to feel a very distant kinship with a guy that I've never met. So, congratulations to Coach Cohen. May you last longer than the last 9 guys who held that job. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Oh, look, your house is a mess. Piles of crap everywhere. You know what you need? Shelving and storage totes. And the best place to do it during the month of January is all the great deals you're going to find at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:13, and Ozzy with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Hey, it's going to be a mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 30. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 28. It is 5 right now in downtown Springfield.
Comedian Kathy Griffin will be joining us next hour. We also got Open Line Friday. Keep in mind, no foul language, no hate speech, and try not to act like a dink. Those are the rules. I'm just here trying to pass them along to you.
There you go. As you know, I'm a guy who peruses the TikToks, quite frequently.
Right.
And one of the videos one of the themes that keeps popping up, and I don't know if this is like creators being paid to promote something.
Like what? Like what?
Well, this particular topic is about dating and where to pick up men and where to pick up women. Depending on what you're into.
Right.
And there's this lady that had this video yesterday. She's like, guys, you want to meet women? Go to Target. And ladies, if you want to meet men, go to Home Depot. And I'm thinking to myself, those are the 2 most horrible places I could think of to pick up either. I mean, think about a woman who's going in there for one item and comes out with 30. You don't want to be number 31, you know? You don't want to be the 31st item that she picks up from the store.
Like, what are you going to do? You're going to see a nice lady trying to price shop some Monistat?
Yeah,
for her.
Right.
Is that this? How you doing?
Yeah, it's like she's going to spend all your money. That I don't. And how many live, laugh, love signs do you need?
Yeah, you know what?
How many scented candles do you need?
That's a red flag right there.
And then the same goes for Home Depot. Are you looking for a man with methoclock shadow? Because that's the kind of men that are at a Home Depot. It is. I mean, you think about it. Most of the guys that shop at Home Depot are guys that, it's like the graveyard of unfinished projects. Like nothing's going to get done here. And And why would you go to why would you go want a man that goes to a place that the employees know nothing about about home improvement?
You want to date a guy that's trying to find insulation and doesn't know what aisle to look through?
Right. Now, I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, there are a lot better businesses to go meet people. You want to go meet a real man? You go to a Rocky's Ace Hardware. That's where you go.
That's right. Good people, rock solid service. You'll find that at every Rocky's Ace Hardware.
There's no meth o'clock shadow. There's only men that know what they're doing. They know the difference between a flathead and a Phillips head. And there's no posturing at a Rocky's. There's a guy that knows what he wants. He goes in there, and if he doesn't know anything, they got experts there to guide him through the whole thing.
I have been to Rocky's Ace Hardware countless times.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody puff up at a Rocky's.
No, nobody's walking around thinking they're better than everybody.
No, it's just the everyday do-it-yourself guy is looking for a couple of caulk guns, maybe some expansion foam, maybe some painter's tape.
He can caulk your crack, that's for sure.
You're damn right about that.
And listen, if I'm going to go pick up a chick, I want the one that's going to Savers, that knows how to save a buck.
Right,
very thrifty.
Well, you would get that at Target. Target does have more discounting opportunities than, say, like a Nordstrom.
Target is a little too expensive for my taste. I want a chick dropping off her ex-boyfriend's stuff at the Savers. That's how you pick up women, Bax. Thrifty shopper.
But if you're that, I can see that. But on the other hand, if you're looking for that one good-looking woman to walk into the Salvation Army, store, or good luck. You'll be waiting a while.
No, you won't. You don't think? Listen, I did a video on this the other day. There was a sign in there that said, "Every love story is beautiful, but ours is my favorite." And I'm like, somebody broke up and dropped that sign off at the Salvation Army.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of ex-boyfriend stuff over there.
That's the gal you want to meet. The angry one. The one who's giving up all his stuff.
The one who feels like the next time she's got something to prove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Angry Salvation donation bin. That sex will melt your face off. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Because you're the spite rebound guy.
Yeah. And think about it. If you're a dude that shops at Rocky's Ace Hardware and near you find a woman in there shopping for some stuff, I mean, who doesn't want a gal that knows how to use a torque wrench? I mean, that is some good quality stuff over there.
Couldn't agree with you more. I also feel as though that at a Rocky's Ace Hardware, because the good rock solid service, you're going to find people that are more willing to collaborate and listen to others and work together as a team.
Yeah,
like in a relationship. You find a guy at a Home Depot. He's aimlessly walking around the store looking for sink washers or drill bits,
looking like he got paid for a paint job and he's not going to show up on the weekend to do it.
And
all you
can smell is you wood dust, cigarettes, and maybe some BO.
Yeah, GPC cigarette. Not even the good cigarette.
Not even cheap ones.
Not even a Marlboro man. You ain't gonna find a Marlboro man at a Home Depot. You're gonna find a what kind of I don't know, L&M guy. You're gonna find an L&M or a Lucky Strike kind of guy. Whatever the cheapest one is, a Pall Mall. Yeah. You ain't going to find Winston over there. You're going to find a nice cigar-smoking fellow over at a Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm thinking about all the other businesses that we go. I want to pick up a chick that orders a home wrecker from the Autumn Mist Farm. Man, if she can shove that thing in her mouth.
Imagine what you could do for you.
Yeah, she ain't going to Target.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that we do.
It's been a long time since I've been on the circuit, you could say. You almost have to go back all the way to the 1980s to find that one. But, the world hasn't changed so much where you can't make those kinds of value judgments on location and opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not going to Target to pick up chicks. That's the last place I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I don't need more scented candles in my house. I don't need decorative wall hangings.
How do you feel about women that take their cars to like a Jiffy Lube?
Oh, a Jiffy Lube. Well, are you kidding me? You might as well just throw your money down the toilet.
Come on now. I mean, there's some very nice ladies who need an oil change.
Yeah.
who for whatever reason, have not yet found someone who can do it for her on the cheap.
I maybe a Jiffy Lube. Maybe a Jiffy Lube type of gal, but I mean, I'm more about the local business type of chick.
Sure.
The one who's going to go to, what is that, Precision Auto over there in West Springfield. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
Yeah.
get a chick that knows what she's doing. You go to a place that's local, live and you want to pick up a chick, go to 7B's out in Westfield at the corners of Route 10 and 202.
It's a perfectly good place to go.
Maybe not after 10 o'clock. I mean, I've once Chef Jeff cleans his hands and the kitchen closes, I mean,
maybe.
It's the selection becomes a little bit less, but nonetheless, I mean, there's still entertainment there on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Pick up a nice gal.
I think it's easy to say, try to avoid falling in love with the big box store.
Yeah, no big box stores.
You don't want any big boxes in your life.
No, I've had enough big boxes. Again, I'll go to a place that a chick can shove a home wrecker down her throat before I can go, to a Target and get what? A Starbucks in the corner? Come on.
I don't mind a woman that shops at Dick's, though. That's like one difference. We got no problem with that.
Yeah, I kind of have a problem with chicks that shop at Dick's. You want to go to a local sporting goods store where the bats are bigger and harder.
Nah, that's a myth. They're all about the same size.
Oh, yeah, I bet you they are. Well, there you go. That's my new bit. I'm working on that. By the way, I'll be at Crestview Country Club tomorrow night at 6:30 for a fundraiser.
It's 6:22 at Rock 102.
It's wintertime here in New England. Our towers.
It's 6:25 at Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Dan Brown will take care of the forecast for you. We got some texts coming in here. This guy, good morning from Connecticut. I work at a Goodwill. There are lots of pretty women married and getting divorced. I'm not looking to home wreck anything.
No.
And then somebody suggested Costco. That's the same thing. There's a lot of married women there. I'm not into that. You want to find the good, solid single chick. A Goodwill is a good place to start, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you have any better luck at a BJ's as opposed to a Costco?
I don't know. I think you're more likely to find a neck tattoo at a BJ's than you are at a Costco.
But you are more likely to
like
see someone pushing a cart full of oxygen in front of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that.
You want to get all that out of there.
Hey, congratulations to Vin Minio Springfield, who won an Amazon Echo Pop yesterday by listening to the Bax and Nagle show. We're giving out a different code word at 7:50 this morning. Make sure you're listening for your chance to win from Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
It kind of goes back to our conversation last week about which protest chick you would do.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a bipartisan guy. I don't really do the politics thing. But if I'm looking at the left and the right, okay?
Yeah.
The right women, very pretty. Mm-hmm. And it's always about, you can get these women just by agreeing with what they say. Oh, fine, yeah, you want to lower egg prices and you want to ban books? Sure, I'm all about that. But it's the Botox thing that really turns me off.
Yeah, no, I get that.
When you're stuck in constant duck face, I mean, it looks pretty for a little while, but then
give it a week or two and it all fades.
Yeah, and then they can't stop talking because their mouths are wide open. You take one of them liberal left-wing chicks who handcuffs herself to a concrete barrier in the middle of a highway. At least you can put a ball gag in her because she's into it. You don't have to hear. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, fine. Free health care.
She doesn't mind the restraints.
Yeah, you're gonna
there's a political cause behind it.
You're gonna wish you had free health care because you need penicillin after I'm done with you. You ready to laugh?
Yes.
Let's laugh. Oh yeah, I gotta push.
That's you.
Yeah.
It's Bax and Nagle's joke of the day.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
On Rock 102.
I make you laugh.
Springfield's Classic Rock.
I probably should have just went with that. A guy walks into a bar and sees 3 pieces of meat hanging from the ceiling. Oh, kind of what I'm talking about here. He asked the bartender, what's with the meat? The bartender goes, if you can jump up and slap one, you get free drinks all night. If you miss, you pay the whole bar's tab. And the guy thinks about it and goes, nah, the stakes are too high. You see, the meat's too high.
That was almost as good as what we were talking about.
See, I'm getting up about slapping meat. You can do that down at Arnold's, down on Shaker Road.
They won't let you slap it.
No, I don't know. If you ask nicely, they might.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
6:31. With Bax and Nagle on Rock 102, it's time for news brought to you by Aqua Pump, an expert in all water supply systems from the well to the pump and to the house. There's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
A perfect place to meet, guys, at the Northeast Men's Health Center. Fresh meat, newly fixed. Plumbing's all working right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great place to go if you're looking for a guy who's going to be spending the next 3 days with a bag of frozen peas in his nuts.
Hey, you know what? After the 3-day period, it's game on. He's like a young, spry 21-year-old.
Well, they tell you got to wait at least a good 10 days before you start getting back into business.
He might be 55, but he's got the prowess of a 25-year-old. Looking for that cougar in the wild.
Because there's less ramifications in the world.
Yeah, he wishes Mingles was still open so he can go back and get his piece.
Jesus, man, you're on fire today.
Listen, I've been writing a lot of more comedy. This is all the stuff that's going into my act.
Is that a new bit?
It is a new bit.
I can see that really coming along.
Yeah, you see, it's development, and actually, we're getting good feedback from the listener.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All
right.
We didn't get the same good feedback about talking about getting a coffee maker here down here in the studio, but it's okay.
What? But see, it doesn't matter if the listener liked that conversation. That was more about us and us throwing the coffee maker thing out into the universe because people were like, "This conversation is boring." But guess what? The boss is buying us a coffee maker for the studio, and we can use that fridge. And guess what else he told me?
What?
You know what's in that fridge?
What?
The guy that used to work here's insulin from like 10 years ago.
He hasn't been here in years.
I know.
That's what that was for?
Yeah.
How come he didn't have it in his office?
Well, because he needed to keep it cold and
because he needed the exercise.
Of course, you
Right.
need to walk that. You need to walk down that blood sugar every once.
Dude,
in a
I
while.
had no idea that's why that was there. I could never figure out. Why do you have like a little, a box fridge in the conference room? No one's freezing stuff. No one's, keeping things cold. There's no beverages in that room.
Well, no beverages, but we can use that insulin as a flavor shot in our new coffee that we have down here.
Starting to like that a lot.
Yeah, who wants to spend money on that Carnation Twix creamer when you can get nice insulin shots out of the refrigerator here at Rock 102?
I love a good non-dairy diabetes.
Yeah, nobody's going to lose a toe over that one.
No, they are not.
Multiple people have been arrested Thursday night after Springfield police officers came under fire while conducting surveillance, resulting in a multi-agency search in the North Branch Parkway area. According to Springfield Police Department spokesman Ryan Walsh, at approximately 7 p.m., Springfield FIU.
What's with the language?
We're monitoring the 100 block of Fernwald Street in an unmarked cruiser when the vehicle was struck by gunfire. Fortunately, no officers were injured. The suspect vehicle left the area but later crashed on Grayson Drive near Fox Road. The individuals inside the vehicle escaped on foot into the woods, prompting a large-scale search. Multiple suspects have been since detained and arrested, but officers continue to search for additional individuals believed to be involved. Residents in the North Branch Parkway area were urged to stay vigilant and lock their doors and report any suspicious activity immediately. As I said as the open of this show, do you really need to be reminded to lock your doors in Springfield?
Well, there are parts of North Branch Parkway that are very, very nice areas.
Well, I'm sure there are, but you should be locking your. Listen, I lock my doors all the way out in the woods.
I locked mine too. I live in a very rural setting, and not that I don't trust the people that are on my street, but I don't fully trust all the people that are on my street.
I don't trust myself with all the Ambien I take and walking out into the middle of the snow and freezing my nuts off at 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's good safety protocol for you.
Yeah. Anyone with any information or concerns is encouraged to contact the Springfield Police or call 911 to report unusual activity. Police officials confirmed that further updates will be provided on Friday after the arrestees are processed. Zing.
Zing.
The Coca-Cola bottling plant in Northampton is now expected to stay open throughout the year.
Perfect.
In a statement to 22 News, a Coca-Cola company spokesperson said the plant will operate through at least the end of 2025 due to unforeseen circumstances. The plant initially planned to close in 2023, but has its closure delayed again. However, this leaves workers unsure of whether they need to find new jobs. The plant bottles the beverage company's non-carbonated projects, such as Minute Maid and Powerade. It employs around 300 people and is the largest industrial site and the largest water consumer in the city. City and state officials have met to discuss the future of the plant and potentially finding a new occupant. So, the good news is they'll have their jobs for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like,
bad news
okay, you
is-
got 1 year, so what do you do? What happens after that year is over?
Imagine going to work and doing coke every day.
Oh, that's what radio was all about back
li-
in the 80s.
A little boog of sugar.
The nose beers are flying high back in the 1980s, Steve. Early 90s, too.
Speaking of booger sugar, a man from Springfield was arrested on Wednesday after almost 60 grams of cocaine was seized after a months-long investigation. The Springfield Police Department states that members of the FBI Western Mass Gang Task Force and Chicopee Police Narcotics Unit have been conducting a months-long drug investigation that was connected to a home on Atherton Street. A search warrant was applied and granted for the home and the vehicle that was registered to 28-year-old Johnadier Santiago. I never heard of that name before.
Santiago?
No, Johnadier. Johnadier.
Johnadier. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's a good name. Johnadier Bax and Nagle. If I was having a son, that's what I'd want to name it.
Johnadier.
Johnadier.
On Wednesday, detectives were surveilling at the
If
home.
my last name were Belvedere, Johnadier Belvedere, how awesome would that? How badass would that be?
That's true. Detectives were surveilling the home and observed Johnadier getting into a vehicle and driving away from Atherton Street. A traffic stop was conducted near the intersection of Carew Street and Decker Place. The search warrant was executed and 2 firearms and more than $1,000 were found inside the home. Over 45 grams of powder and crack cocaine were found inside the garage and more than $1,700 in cash. Approximately 4.5 grams of cocaine, 17 bags of heroin and fentanyl, and 24 individually packaged bags of crack cocaine were found inside the vehicle, all to be won here on Springfield Police's Price is Right.
I'll take a maximum sentence of 10 to 12 years in prison.
Come on down. Come on down, John Deere Santiago of Springfield. Santiago was arrested and total weight of cocaine was recovered with 44.5 grams and 15.5 grams of crack cocaine and a total of 59.7 grams and a total of $2,728 was all to be received.
Now, those all sound like clues. Now, I'm not an investigator, but it sounds to me like he's got himself quite a pickle trying to defend himself with that kind of stuff.
He wins both showcase showdowns. He guessed the right price for both.
Wait till you see this when he spins the wheel on his sentence.
Yeah. Let's see. We got some other stuff. Oh, yeah. There's Munson police are notifying residents in the Creston Brimfield Roads areas to be aware of their surroundings outdoors and remove any food sources after receiving several reports of an injured coyote. In a social media post by the Munson police, they said that over the past few days, they received calls from residents reporting a coyote with an apparent leg injury. A caller also said they saw the coyote with 2 pups.
Now, Steve, was this coyote injured while on roller skates that had rockets attached to them?
Well, it was more of the bundled up TNT with the alarm clock on it that he was hoping to catch a bird with, one of those roadrunner birds,
right?
That run very fast, and he was hoping to do that, but then he unfortunately injured himself in the blast, and now he's got 2 pups to take care of.
I know that many coyotes are not good on cliffs.
No, they're not.
Have a tendency to go over the cliff and fall to the ground with a big puff of dust.
Well, this particular one went to the edge of the cliff and stopped himself from going over. However, the entire mountain behind him fell ipso fatso, then letting him fall on the rock all the way down where he held up a sign that said mother.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I totally believe it, especially in Munson.
I watched I know all about this from these documentaries I used to watch on TV when I was a kid.
Did this involve a super genius?
It did.
Interesting.
Shopping at an Acme store all the time. Did you have an Acme grocery store in New England?
No. That I was. I mean, we had like an A&P.
We had them in New Jersey, the Acme grocery store.
Never heard of it.
And I always thought when I was a kid driving by that was
that they were letting coyotes shop there.
That was the place where Wile E. Coyote shopped.
Did you ever go down the rocket roller skater aisle?
No, we didn't. As a matter of fact, my mother took me in there, and there was none of the items that coyote used. in that Acme store. It was just like fresh produce and discounted milk.
I didn't see him use any of that stuff.
Those living in the area of Crest and Brimfield roads are being advised to be aware of their surroundings when outside to remove any food sources such as trash receptacles and bird feeders to help discourage human contact. I think you shouldn't be using a bird feeder at all anyway.
Why not?
Because that is the number one thing that attracts bears. And obviously, it can attract coyotes if they're injured. But I'm pretty sure a coyote would probably go after it even if it wasn't injured.
We had bird feeders in the backyard for quite a long time. We loved it.
Did you have a bear show up?
No.
Did you have anything show up that shouldn't have been eating the bird seed?
Jehovah Witnesses.
Oh yeah. Well,
it was a guy trying to sell solar panels.
Yeah.
The guys that showed up unwanted.
Yeah, you don't want those people in your yard.
I don't.
They eat the bird seed right out of the feeder, though. Those Jehovah's.
Well, I don't know about the bird seed, but they were willing to nibble on my wallet for a while.
Did you know yesterday was National Pie Day?
I did not.
Now, not to be confused with March 14th, which is Pi Day, P-I Day, 3.14.
Sure.
This is about pies. It celebrates the nation's favorite desserts. The National Calendar Day states that the first pie appeared around 9500 BC in the Egyptian Neolithic period or New Stone Age.
What kind of pie was it?
I don't know. Rock pie. What did you make back in 9500 BC?
Well, they had all the same fruits.
Did they, though? They might have had fruits that don't exist
Well, they
anymore.
may have been less genetically modified, but I'm sure they still had the same fruits. If you wanted an apple pie, you just got like a prehistoric pie.
The American Pie Council created National Pie Day back in 1986 to celebrate Crisco's 75th anniversary of serving foods to families anywhere. This is all money-driven. It's all a money-driven holiday.
Still, though, who doesn't love pie?
If you take away ice cream as a dessert choice, most people would either choose to have pie or cake, or people would choose to have cake or pie with their ice cream. I'm really glad 22 News is getting to the hard stories here.
Yeah, they're real. This is serious journalism here.
There are multiple different kinds of pie, and most of them don't even include fruit, such as chicken pot pie.
There's also that Canadian meat pie that I love so much I grew up eating.
That's
like delicious stuff.
I like the Holyoke hair pie. Did you ever have one of those?
No, not from Holyoke.
Well, you're missing out.
Steve, I'm very happy with the selections at home.
I had one of those at the Brian Baru Club once. A Holyoke hair pie. See, there's a place to meet chicks right there. Yeah.
That's a place you want to go.
If you want to celebrate, go grab your slice of pie at one of the best places in Western Mass to get a pie. You ready?
Yes.
The Florence Pie Bar on Main Street in Florence. I've never been there. I've seen it probably 100 times.
Can't say I've been there either.
The Tart Baking Company in Northampton. Atkins Farms. I would highly recommend those. Randall's Farm.
Randall's does good pie.
They do. I like the pecan pie over there. Chimura's Bakery in Springfield.
Oh, that's good too.
Bartlett's Orchard. Rice's Fruit Farm's got some great pies over there.
That's what ruined me during COVID. Was the pie.
Auntie Kathy's Kitchen in Agawam.
Haven't been there.
No, I haven't been there either. But that was one of the places we were looking at to get the gluten-free stuff because Auntie Kathy's got some gluten-free stuff for the
that one and only guy that had
one guy has no gluten here.
Right.
Taft Farms in Great Barrington. Well, I'm not going all the way out there. That's a long way to go for a pie.
Do love pie, though. You remember the other day where it was like, National Bagel Day?
Yeah.
And you and I were just like chit-chatting a little bit about bagels, and boom, all of a sudden this place in Southwick shows up with an ass load of bagels.
Yeah.
It's Pie Day today.
It is Pie Day today. Yesterday was Pie Day.
Yesterday was Pie Day. We were a day late for Bagel Day, too.
Yeah, so maybe magically a pie will show up. I purposely didn't eat breakfast in case somebody did show up with a pie today.
No, I'm not so much on the pecan pie like you are. I'm more like a
Listen, I'll take any
fruity pie.
Fruity pie.
I like some sort of a pie with fruit.
Yeah, I like chocolate, bananas.
That's good
things
too.
Like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I will also take the Canadian meat pie, too.
Listen, we threw the coffee maker out in the universe, and the boss is buying us a coffee pot. So maybe somebody will buy us a pie and drop it off.
You know, having seen The Secret,
Yeah.
I know all about the law of attraction. And if I can visualize it well enough, then the universe will provide, just like it did for the coffee maker.
Absolutely.
Now we need pie.
We're on to something here.
We are on to big-time stuff here, Steve.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast.
Coffee and pie.
Coffee and pie. I'm telling you, you can't have one without the other. Now, you want flavored coffee? Because I'm going to be buying this stuff over the weekend.
I don't need flavored coffee.
And then expensing it here with the club.
I don't need the flavored stuff. Just regular old, decent, good, solid coffee.
All right, we'll take care of you. Mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 29. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 28. It is 5 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:54. And the Doobie Brothers with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds with a high of 29. It is 5 right now in downtown Springfield.
This week on Baxi's Musical Podcast, my guest has been Steve Smith, the bass player from the band The Vapors, the guys that did Turning Japanese back in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. They got a brand new record coming out in March called Wasp in a Jar. It is really, really good. They're also going to be at the Bosch Theater at the Wang Center on August 1st, part of the Lost 80s live tour with Big Country and Flock of Seagulls and General Public and a whole bunch of others. Next week, my guest is Laura Ferris, who goes by the name Lau, and she is a really interesting woman who born in Argentina. She is a drummer, singer, songwriter, producer, and record executive. The last 30 years of her career are really, really interesting, and her new record called Digital Dream is out. That interview will be available on Monday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, the Rock 102 YouTube channel, rock102.com, and on the app. It's all brought to you by Metro Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee, and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
You know, a lot of my For You page on TikTok revolves around like stand-up comedy. I'm a big fan of Anthony Jeselnik and folks like that. And it also is like music history stuff. And I was watching this and promoting your podcast if you want to find out like in-depth stuff about songs you may have heard for years or music you may have heard of years. They did this that band Fastball?
Yeah.
And they were talking about, I never knew what the song was about. The Way?
The Way, yeah.
Did you know what that was about?
I mean, I know the song. I don't really study the lyrics that much.
So the story is that the lead singer, he's reading the paper one morning. It was somewhere, he lived out in like Oklahoma or something like that. And he was reading the paper and he started writing lyrics to the song because he was fascinated with the story about these two people. It turns out these two people are like, they had Alzheimer's and stuff, or like dementia. And they took off They took off one day and didn't tell anybody where they were going, and he didn't know the ending to the story until after he started writing, the lyrics. Unfortunately, they died, and they were found in like a ravine somewhere.
Huh.
I always find those things like really fascinating, like where
people are inspired by the right songs.
Well, think how popular that song is, and how many people don't even really know what that song was about.
Well, we were talking not that long ago. It's a Blues Traveler song. It talks about how it doesn't matter what the lyrics are.
It was their debut. Well, their big debut album, I guess.
But it's like the hook. It's like doesn't really. As long as we got a hook in the song, it doesn't really matter what we're talking about.
Right, and those lyrics make no sense whatsoever. Like he's says he doesn't matter what I say, and he keeps going on and on about the hook of the song because that's the only thing that people remember. So, a
lot of the times it's true, but artists will absolutely completely obsess over the lyrical content, and bad lyrics can ruin a song.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're into finding out about stuff, I think your podcast would probably be a good place to start with all that stuff.
There's actually some pretty cool ones coming up in the next few weeks, so make sure you are paying attention and following along.
But it's always like I appreciate things more when I know about it, as opposed to just being background music.
Well, you know what? What I'm finding in doing this podcast is every artist, whether they are popular or obscure or what, they've all got a great story to tell about their lives and their careers and about their music. And some of these interviews have been really fascinating. Even if you don't know them all that well, you go back and you listen and say, wow, that's actually That's actually a really cool song. And now that I know the backstory behind it, might be worth putting in your playlist or adding on your mixtape.
Yeah. There was a podcast. I know we don't have much time, but there was a podcast years ago that came out, and it was these guys like out in L.A. I think they were on a radio show, and they used to break down the music instrument by instrument.
Oh yeah.
And the one was it was a Led Zeppelin song, and now I can't remember it. But they were like isolating like
Whole Lot of Love,
and it was and it was like listen to like John Bonham's like. The drums.
And you can hear them grunting, and you can't hear that on the record, but you can hear that when it's been isolated.
Right, but you can still hear Robert Plant screaming in the background. But it was such a cool breakdown. I'll see if I can find the YouTube thing and put it up on our socials here.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's 6:59. We'll be talking to comedian Kathy Griffin in just a few minutes on Rock 102.
Is View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, yesterday I reported the Baseball Writers Association of America made their selections for this year's Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. CC Sabathia, Billy Wagner, and Ichiro Suzuki have all been selected to join Dave Parker and Dick Allen in this year's class. I also told you that to be chosen, you have to receive 75% of the vote. This year, Sabathia was selected with 87%. Wagner got voted in with 82%. Ichiro, on the other hand, was voted with 99.7% of the vote, meaning that he missed a unanimous vote by just one vote. One guy stood between Ichiro and getting 100% of the vote or not getting quite 100%. One guy, one miserable, faceless, spite-filled bastard who chose to ignore all the indisputable evidence of Ichiro's irrefutable greatness, such as the 3,089 career hits, the 311 lifetime batting average, the 2001 Rookie of the Year award. This guy is the guy who hit 372 in 2004. To not vote for this guy is either an act of total stupidity or an act of complete arrogance. And unless he comes forward someday publicly, no one will ever find out who this guy was. Yesterday, however, Ichiro Suzuki, speaking through an interpreter, said that he, quote, would like to invite the guy over to my house where we will have a drink and have a good chat. Now, because I'm not fluent in conversational Japanese, I have no way of knowing if that invitation also included a drink, a chat, and a baseball bat to the kneecaps. I don't know, Ichiro. Could hit for distance? Well, wait till you see what sort of warning track power he has when he steps into the pitch. Of course, he might also have extended this invitation out of total respect and graciousness, which are two things that I probably wouldn't have even crossed my mind had this been happening to me. Of course, I couldn't get a unanimous vote the last time I got a Mass Live Reader Rave award either, but I think I handled that kind of rejection pretty damn well. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You need a key cut? Need a key fob? You need to go see Catherine at the Palmer Rockies. Catherine cuts keys and programs fobs. Good people like Catherine and rock solid service at every Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock at 7:12. And Billy Squire with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds with a high of 29. It is a lovely 5 degrees in downtown Springfield.
Great comedy show coming to the Academy of Music in Northampton next week on Thursday the 30th. Comedian Kathy Griffin is going to be there. She has been on tour for the last few months. She's been at Carnegie Hall. She's been at all these great venues, and now she's coming up to Northampton. And she's on the Zooms with us right now. Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
Hi, you guys.
Hey, Kathy. How are you?
Kathy,
Good. I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah, you're just saying that.
I mean it. I mean everything out of my mouth. I mean, this interview is gonna shut this whole station down. It's gonna be so controversial.
Oh, good.
Oh, all right. Well, that's great. I really
You're like, it's not the best.
I need my job though, so if you can kind of keep that.
I'll just cancel myself again. I've already done it.
Yeah, haven't you? Haven't you been through enough of that already?
I was gonna say, let's save it. Let's save it for the interview. Let's save it.
Okay. Kathy, you're coming to Northampton on the 30th, and how are you?
And by the way, I'm also going to be at Symphony Hall on the 29th. Sorry,
the 29th too.
I'm wrong. I'm at Symphony Hall the 31st.
The day after. Wow. So you're like 2 days.
I love Massachusetts is what I'm trying to say. I'm a Massachusetts daughter, whether you're going to take me or not.
All right. Well, we'll give you a Dunkin' iced coffee to go along with your sub-zero temperatures that we have going on up here.
Okay, just so you know, chocolate honey dip is my favorite, and I like them in munchkin form.
Oh,
Yeah, that
they
is
are pretty good. I like those.
That's a
I'm a
classic.
connoisseur. Sorry. I know what I like.
Kathy, before we go on, how are you? Because I know that you had announced that you had a cancer diagnosis, and I've unfortunately had some experience with that.
What kind of cancer do you have?
I didn't have it. My wife passed away from stomach cancer about 7 years ago.
I'm so sorry. That's a brutal kind of cancer.
And I always have a lot of empathy for people who come out and say they had a diagnosis. And I know you came out in about 2021, or I think it was maybe 2022. Yeah. And how are you doing with that?
Well, I got lung cancer, even though I never smoked. And get this, they went in and they took out half of my left lung. So I'm a 1.5 lunged wonder. I'm half a lung down, but I'll tell you right now, I don't like the way you two are flaunting your 2 lungs in my faces right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of nerve.
I feel like you're cocky. You're cocky about your 2 lungs. Yeah. And everybody knows it. And there, I just blew the lid off it. But no, I'm cancer free. What happened, and I actually talk about this in the show because the show is called Kathy Griffin, My Life on the PTSD List tour. Hope you get it. And I do talk about cancer a bit because everyone's been touched by it. Everyone's been affected by it. And I ask the audience, is it okay if I make jokes about cancer? Have you been affected by cancer in any way? And they all clap. So after I had my surgery, I was injured during the surgery. And for about 3 years, I had a paralyzed left vocal cord. And so was literally like this. And let me tell you, the comedian that can't talk is not fun. So I plummeted into depression. It's one of the things I talk about in the show and how to get out. And I will say, I don't love the surgeon. I'm not going to lie, Dr. Robert McKenna from St. John's Bonaventure in Santa Monica. And by the way, I can say that I don't care for him because that's covered under satire of the First Amendment of the Constitution, if we still have one by the time this airs. And I now have a left vocal cord implant. So it's like I have a boob job, but it's in my neck.
Oh, well, that's kind of an interesting apparatus, I guess, right?
I feel it explains it. If you just say to people, I have a boob job, but in my neck, then they're like, oh, my cousin has a boob job. Now I get it. Because an implant vocal cord is unusual. And I am nothing if not unique. I am an acquired taste. I admit this. I am just becoming slightly uncanceled. I'm not fully uncanceled. I will be sent to the enemy's camps. Hopefully I'm in a room with Jimmy Kimmel. We've discussed it. But, come see me while you can. That's my new pitch. I'm not even saying I'm the funniest person you'll ever imagine. That goes without saying. What I'm saying is come see me live while I'm a free American.
Well, you've been through a lot. I mean, the health scare apart, you were canceled, but there's something about.
Honey, I was on the no-fly list. I mean, canceled is an understatement. A lot of comics were canceled, right? I was on the no-fly list for that Trump head picture. I was on the Interpol list, which is the international version of the no-fly list. I was on the Five Eyes list, which is the terror watch list. I was detained at every airport. It does make it a little challenging to tour. So now I am off those lists for now. So please come see me. And every ticket you buy for my show will be supporting democracy. Although I do have a confession. I'm doing a lot of bitching and moaning now. I actually don't even talk about Trump in my new show. I really don't. Like, I mentioned the head picture because it started kind of a laundry list of things I talk about the PTSD, and I talk about pill addiction, and I talk about losing like 75% of my friends because of that scandal with the Trump head picture. And they never came back, just in case anyone's wondering. But I do talk a lot about using humor to get through stuff. So I know it's corny, and I know it doesn't literally cure cancer, but anytime you can use humor, I do believe if it doesn't help you at the moment you're suffering, it will possibly pay off down the line. Well, so that's why I call it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I bring the 7-year gap and all the things that you've been through, the fact that you are continuing to do comedy after everything you've been through, and then playing big. I mean, you were just in Carnegie Hall not that long ago. It's not like you're playing like the Lindbergh Baby Laugh Lounge off the side of an airport. I mean, you're playing.
I'm out of the Chuckle Hut. I'm out of the Chuckle Hut.
You're absolutely.
No, I mean, that, first of all, to play the Academy of Music in Northampton is such an honor. I've played there before. It's iconic. It's beautiful. To play Symphony Hall the next night, I call it the church, and I'm not even religious. I love Boston audiences. And I'm sorry, maybe you guys don't consider yourself Boston audiences, but I'm just going to say your area tends to be a great comedy area because it's a no BS area. I'm from Chicago, and I feel like I kind of relate being a Chicagoan because Chicago is also a no BS town. And I feel like when I play Northampton, when I play Boston, everyone's smart. Everyone reads real live newspapers. People actually know what's going on. And by the way, I just want to say, I do like a little political stuff, but I still have a lot of the old Kathy Griffin celebrity razzle dazzle where I take down celebrities who deserve it. Just the ones who deserve it.
Kathy, I was going to say, in the words of Jerry Seinfeld, you're horrible. You should just give up. That is one of my favorite episodes.
Jerry Seinfeld is the devil. Jerry Seinfeld is the devil. That is a line that Jerry Seinfeld wrote for me to say about him on the show Seinfeld, of which I got to do 2 episodes. The second episode was actually written for me because Jerry couldn't believe that in my very first HBO special, now it's HBO Max, but back in the day, I did a story about Jerry being kind of a dick. And nobody had ever said that about him. He's, a national treasure and all this. I thought he was a dick. And so I told the story about him like I do with my celebrity stories. I also talked about what an honor it was to be on that show and be on that set with those 4 great actors and all. Larry David was there, of course. And then later on, they wrote an episode where my character becomes a comedian who makes her living making fun of Jerry Seinfeld. So I feel very honored that happened.
I think that was, like I said, one of my favorite episodes and probably one of the funnier ones that I've seen over the years. That must have been quite the experience, though, to work with all of them as well.
And when I did the second episode, it was the week Jerry had announced he was quitting, which was huge. He was on the cover of Time magazine. He was doing interviews. He was so busy. And then I'll never forget, because I was doing another sitcom at the time, and then they let me go do Seinfeld at night. And so I walked on the set, and I've been confronted by so many celebrities about talking smack about them. I mean, I had, may she rest in peace, because she was a genius talent, but a very cracked up Whitney Houston wave her finger in my face backstage at an award show I was hosting, scared the bejesus out of me, because I was like, she might kill me. There's a small chance she might kill me. She's pissed. She's let me know, don't say any of your stuff about me. I don't want to be in your act. Of course, I walked out on stage and just said, you guys, Whitney Houston just tried to kill me backstage. She scared the crap out of me. Somebody save me. So she was like pissed off at me, for the rest of her life. But Jerry Seinfeld was sitting in the diner set, and a lot of the lights were down, and then in I walk, and I'm thinking, he's either going to be a sport about the bit I did, or he's just going to let me have it Whitney Houston style. And God love him, he just went, well, look what the cat dragged in. And we sat there on the diner set, and the 2 of us just talked, and he talked to me about stand-up. And it was such a moment, just talking to him about, yeah, I'm going back to stand-up. Yeah, I know, I can't believe it. No, I'm doing the stuff. I'm going on the road. And he kept saying, I'm among the people. You're going to see me. I'm among the people. Now, I don't know if being in the Hamptons with the wife is among the people, but, it's some people. He's among some people.
Well, when you get to a certain level, you're able to do whatever you kind of want.
I asked him one time, I go, just tell me how much money you have. I was just trying to bust his balls. And I said, I want the actual amount. I don't want a fee to be off by a few million. I want to know to the penny, which I know how much you have. And I just kept coming at him. And he just kept saying, I'm comfortable. I'd say I'm comfortable. That's it. I never got a dollar amount. He's comfortable.
And then you see his picture in the National Enquirer of the overlay of his Hampton mansion. And you're like, he's a little bit more than comfortable.
A little more.
Yeah.
Real comfortable.
That's why he
Too
wants.
comfortable.
That's why he's only among some people and not all the people.
Among the people, I thought that was hilarious. I was like, yes, the people, heads of state and celebrities.
Kathy Griffin is going to be at the Academy of Music in Northampton on the 30th and the Boston Symphony Hall on the 31st. Kathy, it's a real pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck. I'm glad you're back and have a great time on the rest of your tour.
Oh, thanks, you guys. Thanks for being so good to me. Love you guys. See you next time.
You bet.
Thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Kathy Griffin with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Springfield.
It's 7:28 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Well, that was something, huh?
It was fine. It was fine.
That was fine.
Absolutely fine.
All right, listen, I get where you're coming from when you want to criticize something that we do, and I don't really have a problem with that. But when you're texting the text line, there are more than just Bax and Nagle reading the text. So when you start throwing the C word out there, you got to remember that there are other employees in this building that see that kind of stuff coming over through the text line. I don't, you can have your opinion either way about how you feel about it, but do you really need to sink that low?
I have to
Start throwing the C word in your text messages? I mean, I don't.
Now the C word. Are you talking like Credence?
Yes, Credence, Clearwater Revival.
All right. Well, some people might be offended by that.
No, but I mean, yeah, it's just like, we've had to block people that were sending pictures of their no-go holes.
Right.
In the beginning when we rolled this thing out.
Which I thought was disappointing.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we could have those.
And I kind of, this guy who wrote in, she's awful, she's part of the problem. I said, that's fine, but I get where you're coming from, but your choice of words, we're not the only ones who look at these text messages.
Yeah.
And he responds, she doesn't hold back. Why should I? She incited violence when the pot was already boiling over. She cranked up the heat. I understand that, but why do you have to sink to that level and go to, why do you have to do that?
Because some people don't really. Okay, so here's what happened. So you got someone calling, someone texting on the Route 10 Tire listener line at 413-293-1021. They're expressing their opinion, and
I get that. And there's nothing wrong with expressing your opinion, but there's ways to do that without sinking to the same level of the person that you're complaining about.
Here's what I've discovered over the years of dealing with some segments of our audience.
Yeah.
That is the most sophisticated way that particular guy can express himself.
All right.
If that's what he has to resort to, my guess is nobody around him has high expectations that he can do better than that.
He's the guy you're going to meet at the Home Depot.
That's right.
With the meth-o'clock shadow.
And the reason he hasn't shaved is because of all the open sores on his face.
Oh, well, X-Acto knives are kind of expensive.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. So, keep your expectations where they need to be. And hopefully, if this guy's got a problem, he won't be among those calling during Open Line Friday, which happens just after 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. But again, that's why I established the rules of no foul language, hate speech, or acting like a dink. This guy was basically doing all three.
Yeah, well,
at once.
That's what you got.
In 7 words, he was able to do the entire thing.
He did it.
Oh, he just wrote back.
Oh, and then he wrote back with that.
Yeah.
Hey, good for you.
You're showing your stripes there, pal. Yeah. It's 7:31. News is next to Rock 102. It's 7:34.
Oh, boy.
With Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
There is a bit of romanticism with these folks who write into the show here. I can't. I wish we could tell that. I wish I could just say what I wanted to say.
Yeah, but maybe not.
Hey, probably not today. Hey, police in Springfield are searching approximately 7 p.m. on Thursday. Springfield detectives were conducting surveillance on Fernwald Street when an unmarked cruiser was fired at and hit. No officers were injured. A suspect vehicle then fled before crashing on Grayson Drive near Fox Road, where the occupants fled into the woods. Multiple suspects have been detained and/or arrested. Officers are actively searching for the remaining suspects, who are believed to be armed and dangerous. When the Western Mass News crew arrived, guess what they saw?
What did they see?
Now they're 22. They're seeing things. We saw a canine unit dispatched. The dog was barking. He's like, over there. Ruff, 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 ruff.
I think you're seeing things.
With a multitude of police officers searching in residential yards with flashlights for the suspects, several cruisers were also seen driving around neighborhoods surrounding Rosemary Avenue. Well, I love grows where my rosemary goes.
And no one even knows but me.
Do we even have that gem on there?
Was that Edison Lighthouse?
Edison Lighthouse. How did you know that?
Because I've been.
You know how I knew that?
How did you know that?
Because I used to fill in for the 70s at 7.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
They don't do that anymore. Edison Lighthouse here on Rock 102 WAQY.
She ain't got no money, her clothes are kind of funny, her hair is kind of wild and free. Oh, but love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. She acts kinda lazy, and people say she's crazy, and her life's a mystery. Oh, but love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me.
See, I didn't even need the lyrics to read it.
Something about her head over mine, it's a feeling inside, and I just gotta say, hey, she's really got a magical spell, and it's working so well, and I can't get away. I'm a lucky fella, and I just gotta tell her that I love her endlessly. Oh, God, love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me.
See?
Yeah, no, that's good stuff, man.
Good point.
Anyway.
You know, we just try to reach all the crowds here at Rock 102.
You know, we had a letter yesterday of someone who was taking us to task for not playing things like
Chuck Berry
and Danny and the Juniors and stuff like that. And I had to explain why we don't play that and why we have to play things like Hotel California and Tom Petty instead.
Yeah, well, I mean, we play the hits here, the classic rock hits.
That's exactly right. And here we just played a song from 1974, just as good today as it was back then.
Who else but us can turn a very serious situation into a fun-loving pop music fun hour?
You got that right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe down in New Haven, you could listen to a station that might give you more.
Maybe you could. Maybe you could.
I don't know any off the top of my head.
But only certain types of people would listen to that anyway. Anywho, police are saying to lock your doors because they don't know where these guys are yet. And Ryan Walsh will have an update for you later on. And perhaps the Western Mass News crew will tell you what the dog said.
Now, wait a minute.
Roo, 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 roo. We saw the canine. What did he say? Roo, roo, roo.
I don't think that dog knows what he's talking about.
I think he said, he's over there.
That would explain why the dog was pointing in one direction.
A young man from Montgomery is in need of community love and support after suffering a severe spinal cord injury just last week, which left him partially paralyzed. It's been good. You have a lot of good support all around, said Garrett Wheeler of Montgomery. The 28-year-old Wheeler is recovering in Bay State ICU after he recently suffered severe life-altering injuries to his back and spinal cord in a skiing accident back on January 15th, which left him paralyzed from the waist down. I know this family personally. These are a great bunch of people, and they're asking you to donate to this GoFundMe account that they have going here. His journey has not been easy. His spirit remains unbroken, and through it all, he continues to push forward, which he couldn't do without the unwavering support of his family, friends, and community. He said, I thank you for your prayers, and I just want to say I love you all. He's a great young man. I highly recommend that you go to the GoFundMe account. You can find the GoFundMe. We'll put it up on our morning show page. But you can also find it here on Western Mass News in the story there. So if you feel so inclined, you can donate to that. With cases of the avian influenza, or bird flu, as many have called it, popping up in western Massachusetts, one local farm is taking extra precautions. Ann Demon Bucci said, "We don't have the bird flu, and we're protecting our farm." Demon Bucci told Western Mass News she has had the avian flu on her radar for some time and explained that the farm has been getting a ton of calls from customers who are looking to purchase eggs as the price per carton has skyrocketed in grocery stores. A customer that would be taking 60 dozen in the past, they're now asking for 150 dozen because they're having problems getting them from anywhere else. This thing is really ramping up in the United States.
I was at a grocery store yesterday. I don't want to say which one it was, but the egg case was
Empty.
Practically empty.
Yeah,
I think I saw 4 boxes of eggs, and that was it.
The problem with this, this avian flu thing, as I was reading about, is once one chicken gets infected, they have to kill them all. So if you have a facility that is producing eggs, and you got, let's say you got 1,000 chickens, which is, I don't know if it's an understatement or an overstatement, but let's say you got a, mass producing places, probably has more than 1,000 chickens in it.
Probably.
They have to get rid of all of them because that's what happens. And the same is going to go for chicken prices and things like that, which that's been the cheaper meat to go with.
It has been, actually.
Recently.
And chicken hasn't always been the cheaper one, but lately it has.
As for what would happen if one of their birds did contract the avian flu, Demon Bucci said, "Our protocol is to call our inspector with the Department of Agriculture, and they would come out and then take over. If it is, in fact, avian influenza, they depopulate, so it would be significant." And the problem is, it's not like something you can freeze. You can't freeze eggs, can you? Can you do that?
You can freeze, if you separate egg whites from yolks, I think you can freeze them individually, but I don't think they come back the same way.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. You'd have to crack them first, right?
Yes.
And take them out?
I believe so.
What about egg beaters? You can just get egg beaters.
Oh my God, they're awful low.
What are you talking about?
Egg beaters?
Have you ever had an egg beater?
Yeah, there's I don't know. There's a texture I don't like about it.
Somebody wants to know, can they request a song for the 70s at 7? The 70s at 7:30 as we did.
Okay, well, what is their request?
How about The Worst That Can Happen by Brooklyn Bridge? I don't even know that song. Do I?
Worst that can happen. See if we can.
Is that The Worst That Can Happen? Is that the song?
Brooklyn. You know what? I'm not.
You're not even commenting up on Spotify.
Well, I mean, I
we only do the pop hits. We don't do deep cuts.
I don't know if it's that much. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me see if I. Okay. Hold on a second. And The Worst That Can Happen. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Girl, I heard
why would you?
getting married. It's time you're really sure.
Do you know the lyrics, or are you just?
I've got the lyrics on Spotify.
Oh, I was gonna say you're not reciting this from heart. At least "Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes" is something that I've heard a million times.
Oh, actually, tattooed that on my chest. The whole lyrics. All I have to do is look down.
Of What's the Worst That Can Happen?
No, of
Love Grows Where My Rosemary
Edison
Goes.
Lighthouse.
Well, that's all. You have all the catalog of Edison Lighthouse.
I
on your
celebrate
chest.
it every day.
Isn't it? This is the one song, right? Did they have other hits?
I don't. I'm sure they had others. I just don't know off the top of my head what any of them would have been.
Hey, listen, Spirit Airlines is classing things up. They just announced you can't wear see-through clothing anymore.
Come on.
You know what? That was the only reason I was going on Spirit Airlines to begin with.
I wore my see-through pants so they wouldn't wand me as rigorously.
It could get you kicked off your next flight. That means no more sheer tops without a bra, leave the clear plastic pants at home, and don't even think about wearing your full fishnet bodysuit, you scoundrels.
It almost makes me not want to travel.
They updated their fine print this week to ban things that could be seen as lewd, obscene, or offensive in nature. So are you revamping the entire airline? Because the entire airline is lewd, obscene, and offensive in nature. $69 one way? Come on.
You'll practically choke on our prices.
Yeah, that includes see-through clothing. Well, it's the $70 route is the extra finger. That includes see-through clothing, that tops that don't offer adequate coverage, or pants and skirts that expose your butt or other private parts.
How often is this actually happening? How many people are actually boarding a plane wearing see-through clothing or fishnet pants?
The people that ride Spirit Airlines.
Even in business class, I don't think they're wearing that kind of stuff.
Their policy also covers lewd and offensive body art. So certain tattoos could get you kicked off the flight, too? What are they, just trying to bankrupt the airline at this point? Because isn't that the reason why you would lower your rates so much, as to get people who wouldn't normally be flying anywhere to be able to afford those kinds of things?
I would never kick. If I were a flight attendant, and I frankly just don't have the gams for it, but if I did, I would never kick somebody off a flight.
No,
because of a tattoo they had.
Yeah,
who the hell am I to judge someone's life choices and how they've expressed themselves through ink?
Well, I mean, some tattoos can be quite sexy.
True.
The neck tattoo, that might be a red flag.
Not exactly my thing. I would never do it, but who's to judge?
She got a neck tattoo and all her clothes are new. She got a neck tattoo. You ever heard that song before?
No, I don't know that.
You know, there's a white girl with a pink range, and she drives fast in the slow lane. She got a neck tattoo and all her clothes are new. I wish we could play that song, but we can't.
We probably can't play that one
because of the profanity.
Well.
But who does Spirit Airlines think they are, being better than everybody else? Oh, all of a sudden, after all these years of watching people overdose on mushrooms and have psychedelic trips in the sky and being duct taped to the plane seat,
the
plastic plane seat.
I hate to break it to you, but you are no more fancy than anybody else.
I mean, it's kind of, those plastic plane seats that they use are kind of like the seats they use in the back of a police cruiser. Like, they're not supposed to be comfortable.
No, but they can be used as a flotation device in the case of a crash above water.
That is true.
Excuse me, a hard water landing.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 29. It is 6 degrees in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Ah, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:54, and Guns N' Roses with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds with a high of 29. It is 7 right now in downtown Springfield.
So yesterday, Vin Minio of Springfield winds up winning the Amazon Echo Pop. He heard the code word yesterday morning, went to rock102.com, entered it before noon, and then he winds up winning. How awesome is that? Simple.
There you go.
Well, we're going to give you another code word right now, and same exact plan. You hear the code word, you go to rock102.com before noon, and you enter that code word for your chance to win. Today's code word, Steve, is the word app. That's app. A-P-P. As in A-P-P. Yeah, you know me.
You down with APP?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right, okay.
Anyway, so that's the code word today for those of you who are very curious, including the guy that just called and said, hey, give me the code word. The code word is app.
App.
Okay?
There you go.
Now, listen, we've had some rambunctious people on the Route 10 Tire listener line this morning. Some people apparently kissed their mother with that mouth. I can't imagine that's going off very well.
Or do this to their dad. I don't know. Whatever he wants to do.
What people do in their own spare time. I don't know.
That was a Tony Soprano line. That was funny.
But we have Open Line Friday coming up in minutes. Steve, if you recall last Friday, around this time, we gave everybody the instructions to use no foul language, no hate speech, try not to act like you think. And yet, we still had one terrible call after another. And I don't know what it is. It's not like Friday just popped up on everybody unexpectedly. Everyone knew it was coming up on Friday. My God, Linton Septic has already put money down on this to make sure that it is an interesting and compelling couple of minutes on the radio. If there's a way we could try to trim back some of the the dinkage that happened last week. I think I'd be very happy with the final result.
Yeah. I keep it clean. I just be a normal human being. And, if you got a gripe, you can have a gripe. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I welcome the gripe. I was just talking about, on this Route 10 tire thing. Like, we are not the only people that read these text messages. I don't care. Like, I get it. If you didn't like the Kathy Griffin interview, fine. There's a lot of people that don't like Kathy Griffin. But you know what? There's advertising dollars involved, and capitalism wins every time. I can't.
You may not like her, but she still has a couple of Grammys. She's still sold out Carnegie Hall.
So there you go. I mean, but you can have your opinions either way about that. But I'm talking about the language. You're not just talking to us when you text in these things. There's women that work here that have nothing to do.
There's children.
Pat Kelly is 12. I mean, he can't even reach the pedals yet in the car.
His little legs are dangling out the seat.
Dangling the thing, and he's got his little puppies in the studio every week. I mean, we gotta be careful with who we're talking to. Just like think about it before you text something in like that.
Yeah, none of us should have to hang up and say, what the hell was just that?
That's fine if you don't like whatever. Everybody's got a different everybody's different cup of tea for everybody.
Wow, so let's try to turn this thing around and make this a real successful Open Line Friday, shall we?
We shall.
All right, it's 7:58 at Rock 102.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Hey, let me switch things up a bit and talk about something that you're probably not going to care about, at least for now. As you know, the NFL coaching carousel has been spinning like crazy over the last 2 weeks, and for good reason, as teams have been scouring the earth looking to fill all these great head coaching opportunities. The Patriots, Dallas, Chicago, the Jets, and others had to hire new coaches. Some have already been successful, others not so much. Surprisingly, I've heard very little chit-chat about who's going to be the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you know why? Because according to my sources, nobody gives a crap about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, before you say to yourself, hey, I don't give a crap about them either, let me attempt to transform that man-sized pile of apathy and turn things around for you. Yesterday it was reported that the Jags are about to hire Tampa Bay offensive coordinator Liam Cohen as their new head coach. Now, stay with me here. While most people like us are naturally prone to not care about this sort of thing, you should know that Liam Cohen was the former quarterback for the UMass Minutemen more than 21 years ago. From 2004 to 2008, Liam Cohen was right here in Western Mass for some of the most formative years of his life. For 4 years, Liam Cohen got to enjoy things like the Hobart Hoedown, the Blarney Bash, might have enjoyed himself at the Holyoke Road Race, the Castaway Lounge, the Big E, maybe even went to that old weed festival at the Three County Fairground. Heck, for all we know, the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars might have been a fan of Rock 102. Bacon Fest, Mayflower Marathon, and Tom Petty songs as far as the eye can see. That Liam Cohen. And while I've never in my life cared about the Jacksonville Jaguars, I feel a slight yet distant glimmer of pride in knowing that he was their guy and that guy used to be one of us. Not enough pride to care about the crummy team he's supposed to turn around, but enough to feel a very distant kinship with a guy I've never actually met. So congratulations to Coach Cohen. May you last longer than the last 9 guys who held that job. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Man, your house is a mess. Piles of garbage all over the place. That's why you need shelving and storage totes from Rocky's. Great January savings and great deals on shelving and storage totes at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:11 and AC/DC with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 30. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 28. It's 10 degrees in downtown Springfield.
And now, live from the Richard Grieco Studios in East Long Meadow, Massachusetts, it's Open Line Friday!
Okay. 293-1021. That is the number to call for Open Line Friday. Today we are brought to you by Linton Septic. You can call in, give us crap, and they will pump it, because that's what they do.
Yes. Yes, they do.
All right, so again, let's establish our rules here. I think we all know what they are.
They just pumped 10 pounds of it off the text line.
Exactly. Here are the rules. No foul language, no hate speech. Try not to act like a dink. Had way too much dinkage last week. Trying to cut down on all of it. So let's try to follow the rules here.
I mean, dinkage is also a thing that Linton Septic will suck out of your septic system.
They will. Okay, here we go. Rock 102. Oh, Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
What's up, guys?
Oh, God. Hey, Macadamia.
Another week.
All right.
I thank the Lord for letting me.
All right, let's see if you've learned anything about brevity in the last week.
I'll try. I don't even know what that means, but anyways,
exactly.
I know it. Listen, I have to call in because there's so many angry people out there. I don't know what the heck is going on because last week I'm not feeling the love. Me and Vince got called out from lovely first-time caller. I believe her name is Lisa. From somewhere in the Massachusetts area or whatever. And she said she wanted to call in to break it up instead of Vince and Macadamian calling in all the time.
Yeah, well,
you can't blame her.
We like that. We like first-time callers, long-time listeners.
Yeah. I encourage first-time caller. But I mean, am I really that bad?
Well, it's not that you're that bad; it's that you're horrible. And I
would say I think you would benefit from like a little bit of organizational help. Just maybe clarify your thoughts. This is a good one this week because you had something to bring to the table. You've brought a discussion to the table, and we appreciate your brevity.
Use ChatGPT. It's for people like yourself.
All right. Well, listen, I don't want to take up the whole segment.
You're getting close.
All right.
But we appreciate your time. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Okay,
thank you.
there you go. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning. It's Brian from East Windsor. How you guys doing?
Hey, Brian. What's up, man?
Hey, not much. I just want to say I rarely call and complain about anything, but I want to call and complain about all the freaking listeners we have on this Rock 102 line. I'm a former truck driver. I'm a former owner-operator, and I got a brain tumor. I know people from all over this country talk dirtier than you can imagine, and yet somehow I'm as bitter and angry and whatever you want, and somehow I can call this radio station every day and not swear and complain about things. I don't get how people that are just living their normal daily lives have to call up and swear and complain.
Well, listen, I mean, I welcome, I welcome a complaint. We're not opposed to the complaint thing. I mean, some people just have a hard time going about their day-to-day lives, and they need an outlet. And I'm happy to be the ball punching bag for that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, one of my best friends is a die-hard Trump supporter from southern Pennsylvania, and we call and have less of an argument than some of the people that call up and complain about just nothing.
Do you know why? Do you know why that is, Brian?
Why?
Because you and your friend are adults, and you can handle each other.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well put. Well put, Brian.
All right. You guys have a good day.
All right.
All right. Stop your complaining.
Okay. There we go. Okay. More people. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, you talking to me?
Hey! What's up?
Hey, how you boys doing this morning?
We're doing all right.
What? Dave. Hey, I got a couple of points I want to discuss with you guys.
You got 30 seconds. What's on your mind?
Bax.
Yes.
You've been dropping the ball. Well, you retired on the doggone job. You're tripping up your words and you're stuttering when you're doing your view from the couch. I'm wondering what the heck. What, you going out the door early on it?
Okay, you seem to be the first-time listener, long-time caller.
I've been stumbling through this show for almost 30 years. I mean, I can't listen. It's just the way it is. I think in many ways you could say, well, it sounds like Bax is a real live human being because real live human beings sometimes stammer and stumble and make egregious mistakes. That's what I do. That's my hook.
All right, well, Steve, I'm not letting you off the hook. I mean, you've gone from Mohegan Sun down to doing these big hauls at Elks Lodges.
Hey,
what's next? The Moose Lodge or what?
Tomorrow I'll be at the Pride Station on Route 5 on East West Springfield.
What's that, from 3 to 5 in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Matinee.
It's $5.89 for the Little Debbie Fudge Round and the comedy show.
All right. I might be busy. I don't know.
All right. Listen,
We'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Have a good day.
Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Dave from Dubstown.
Hey, Dave. What's up?
I'm just curious. Why are your studios named after Richard Grieco?
Well, it was just something stupid we did years ago. We could think of the worst celebrity around.
See, we had those intros for Monday through Friday, but we keep doing it for Friday, and the guy that put those together is no longer working here because he's retired, and so it's Richard Grieco. What's wrong with Richard? Did you like 21 Jump Street in the 80s?
I was just curious. It seemed like the odd person to pick, and you gave me the reason.
Kim Kardashian was the Thursday. Wednesday was Aaron Moran. Who was the other two that we had? I don't
remember.
Yeah.
We'd have to look. We rarely have done a Monday, Tuesday.
Clint Howard was one of them.
Clint Howard.
And there was one other one, and I can't remember who the fifth one was.
It's been so long since we've done a Monday or Tuesday.
Monday, yeah.
All right, well, there you go. I hope that helped.
All right, thanks.
You're very welcome. Rock 102, good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, guys. This is Kevin down here in Connecticut.
Hey, Kevin, what's up?
Not too much. You guys have eBay as a new sponsor, and I got a lot of great classic rock albums and 8-tracks on eBay. Can I give my username?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Please do.
KevDog9. KEVDOG9. Search it up.
All right, Kev Doug. We'll do our best to make sure you can clear out your whole collection.
Hey, we should turn this in. Remember that there used to be, my dad used to listen to it all the time. It was the swap and shell.
The radio tradio.
The radio tradio that used to happen on that other station, on the AM station in Springfield.
I used to know the host that used to work there.
Yeah. We got
Sure.
we got rid of an organ that we had at our house. We did. I'm not kidding you. Some guy came over the house and picked up the organ.
Well, good luck getting rid of those records.
Thanks. One more thing, guys.
Yeah.
Shout-outs are stupid.
All right. Shout out to stupid. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
Okay, there you go. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
What's the name?
What?
Hey, Baxie, it's Joe Ellen from West Springfield. I'd like to talk to Steve.
Yeah, you're talking to him.
Hey, Steve, do you remember me?
No, I don't remember you.
I can't believe you don't remember me.
Where-
After all those sultry summer nights at Mingles where we talk about your dad and your difficult relationship with him.
I think
we bonded.
You know what? Now that you say that, I think I still have a syphilis scar from that.
For all intents and purposes, I was your red-headed emotional support slut.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't think you're asking for Steve. I think you're asking for Luella Stankus.
Yeah, Luella.
Yeah, and her best friend Donna Rhea.
No, I was a cousin. We would sit back, knocking PBRs, shots of Jack, and
Listen here, sweetheart. There's no way that Mingles could have handled all three of us. We would have melted the place.
Now go get me some Sweet and Low and a Paw Mall.
Listen, we were a team. You used to tell me I was a 2 at 10 and a 10 at 2.
Yeah, I bet I did.
I remember that one time. I mean, one guy walked down the street to get me a cream-filled Long John, and I wasn't talking about donut dip.
Oh, darling, don't get me all moist this early in the morning.
You know.
All right.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is Connie and Michael. We're on our way to Fort Lauderdale. He's not, but we're going on Spirit Airlines.
Oh, you're
fantastic.
Right. Man, how much were the tickets?
We're actually, it's myself and my friend. We're ex-airline people, so we get to fly around.
Oh, so
Wow.
I hope you're covering yourself up this morning.
Fly standby. We do have to fly standby.
Well, that's it.
All right.
I'm sure you got a great deal on it, though.
Oh, well, we have no idea what to expect. We haven't flown it.
Are you wearing your fishnets or have you covered yourself up?
No, know, I put every fake tattoo on that I could find.
Oh, all right.
Perfect.
All
Nice.
right,
Very nice. Well, you have a great trip.
The what?
Have a great trip.
Oh, thank you. We're heading to St. Martin, so it should be an interesting experience.
Okay. Well, you have fun. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Joey, how are you?
Good, Joey. What's up?
Hey, I got a couple questions. I was hoping maybe you guys could help me answer.
All right.
So, can you tell me why we park in a driveway and drive on a parkway?
I don't know. Why?
I don't know. I'm trying to get the answers.
Why do we play in a recital and reciting a play? I don't know. 293-1021. If you know the answer, let me know.
Hey, can you tell me why your feet smell and your nose runs?
I don't know. 293-1021. Let us know on the Route 10 Tire listener line.
Do you know why there's Braille at a drive-up ATM?
I don't know.
no idea.
Call us on the Route 10 Tire listener line at 293-1021.
Survey said. and let me ask you, do you know if an elevator smells different to small people?
I don't know. Call us on the Route 10 Tire listener line at 293-1021.
All right.
You guys have a good day.
All right.
Thank you. You too. Let's take another one here. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
It's Fred. How you doing today?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on again? Just giving a shout out to Fletcher's over there in Long Meadow.
Oh, yeah. Good
the
place.
barbecue place.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was awesome. I was listening to you guys, and they got the old banana pudding. Delicious.
The banana pudding is delicious. Did you have the brisket?
And the biscuit, the burn ends.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
fantastic.
stuff over there.
There you go. All right. Well, glad you liked it.
Take care. We'll see you.
All right. One more?
Yeah, sure.
All right. One more here. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, Bax and Steve. This is Billy Bob from Bay State.
All right, two
How
more.
are you?
Yeah, okay.
What's up, Billy Bob?
What's up, Billy Bob?
Nothing. Hey, so I just want to ask you guys a quick question. Who are you taking to go to the Super Bowl this year?
We're not going to the Super Bowl.
I mean, we're not dating anybody. I mean, I'm involved in a very happy marriage. As, Steve's single, but nevertheless, they're not taking anybody. Oh, who we picking?
Who are you picking to go to the Super Bowl?
Well, I've given this a lot of thought, and I actually think I'm like in Buffalo, and I'm suddenly turning around on Washington.
Oh, me too. That's who I'm picking to go myself is the Bills and the Commanders. So, Bax, I hope they go, and we'll see what happens, my friend.
We will see. Two great quarterbacks. We'll see what happens.
Okay, you guys have a great day. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it very much.
All right,
Thanks,
Billy.
Take
Bye.
care. One more.
One more?
Yeah,
okay, let's see here. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this? All right, they hung up. Let's try this. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, boys. It's Vince the plumber.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, my God. What do you got, a cold there, Vince?
All right, quick shout-out. Do your shout-outs. We got one more call to get to.
All right, not a problem. Shout-outs to Plimpton and Hills. You guys have a great weekend.
All right.
My God. Is he okay?
I guess so.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's George from Agawam.
Ah, for God's sakes. Why do we have to keep the same ones over and over and over again?
Especially a happy-go-lucky fellow like George.
All right, make it quick, George. What do you got?
Well, I didn't call in last week because you guys wanted new callers, so I avoided calling in. But
You got 10 seconds. You don't get double time because you missed last week.
Steve, when you worked for the rail yard, did you get discounted rail tickets?
Yes, I did, actually. I got free Amtrak tickets. They don't
never
do that
took
anymore,
advantage
though.
of that?
They don't do that anymore.
You never took advantage of it?
I absolutely did.
Oh, okay. The other thing is, yesterday you were talking about the canned spray cheese. Yeah, that's. I think it's marked right on the label that it's not a dairy product.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's kind of like the cheese that's individually packaged.
Yeah, the individually packaged cheese.
Wait. Get to the point, George.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm just trying to remember covering things that you guys talked about.
Well, that cheese has more flavor than this phone call. Thanks for calling this week, and we'll move on to one more.
Okay,
yeah. Come on, we got to get somebody we don't even talk to.
Okay, let's try this. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is Mark from Belchertown.
What's up, Mark?
in response to the guy who said, why do they have Braille at the drive-up ATMs?
Yeah.
It's only because the blind people are the best drivers in Massachusetts.
All right.
You see, it was well worth that last call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Like, it took a guy from Belchertown.
I think this is the PTSD guy from watching the dog get shot. Right? Are you the guy?
What's going on?
Are you the guy with the PTSD from watching the dog get shot when you were a kid?
No.
Oh, all right.
All right, different guy from Belchertown. All right, listen, we appreciate the call. Thank you very much.
All right.
There you go.
That was a successful Open Line Friday.
Finally, Linton Septic is it's money well spent.
Money well spent.
It's 8:27 on Rock 102. 8:29 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Hey, you know what's so weird? I forgot all about it. Was Dana Plato Studios.
That's
and
what it
people
was.
were writing that in. You know what? I went to a Plato's closet. I thought I was going to go in there and find drugs and porn, but apparently
no, totally different.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, where's the drugs and porn?" And they said, "What you talking about, Willis?" You see it?
Yeah, that's right.
Not Plato's closet. Not that kind of Plato's closet.
Yeah. Hey, this Sunday on Rock 102, it's Baxy's Musical Fun Bag. Rock 102's loudest hour. We're going to play all kinds of great stuff from the 70s and 80s, the Smiths, the Pretenders, the Misfits, Sonic Youth, the Violent Femmes, and more. It's all brought to you by the folks at Raspberries Records, East Longmeadow and in Ludlow. If you're looking for vinyl, the place to go is Raspberries Records. Again, it's Baxy's Musical Fun Bag, Sunday night, 9 o'clock here on Rock 102.
There you go.
News is next.
Here's your Western Mass News First Alert for
Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. There was some, it's still going on in Springfield. Multiple people have been arrested Thursday night after Springfield police officers came under fire while conducting surveillance, resulting in a multi-agency search in the North Branch Parkway area. According to the Springfield Police Department spokesman Ryan Walsh, at approximately 7 p.m., Springfield Police FIU.
Hey, enough of the language.
Whoa. We just had to criticize people on the text line for doing that. Anyway, these kids over at 22 using that kind of language.
Do their mothers know they're talking that way? Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
And the FIU detectives were monitoring the 100 block of Fernald Street in an unmarked cruiser when the vehicle was struck by gunfire. Fortunately, no officers were injured. The suspect vehicle left the area, but later crashed on Grayson Drive near Fox Road. The individuals inside the vehicle escaped on foot into the woods, prompting a large-scale search. Multiple suspects have been detained and arrested, but officers continue to search for additional individuals involved. Residents in the North Branch Parkway area were urged to stay vigilant, lock their doors, and report any suspicious activity immediately. Authorities warned that the suspects are considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information or concerns is encouraged to contact the SPD or call 911 to report the unusual activity. Police officials confirm that the further updates will be provided today after the arrestees are processed. So there's still a loose cannon running around there.
All right.
That's
be on the lookout.
A bolo, I believe.
Yes.
Is that the thing that the scouts wear around there for their neckerchiefs?
Yes, that is a bolo.
A bolo. So if you see a bolo, that is when you call the police.
I would not necessarily call a cop on a guy wearing a bolo. I don't think that's a crime. It should be, but it's not.
A man from Springfield. You know who else is a man?
Who's a man, Steve?
Jonadier Santiago's a man.
I'll say.
He was arrested on Wednesday after almost 60 grams of cocaine were seized after a months-long investigation. The Springfield Police states that the members of the FBI Western Mass Gang Task Force and Chicopee Police Narcotics Unit have been conducting a months-long drug investigation that was connected to a home on Atherton Street. A search warrant was applied and granted for the home and the vehicle that was registered to 28-year-old John Deere Santiago of Springfield. On Wednesday, detectives were surveilling the home and observed Santiago getting into a vehicle and driving away from Atherton Street. A traffic stop was conducted near the intersection of Carew Street and Decker Place. The search warrant was executed, and 2 firearms and more than $1,000 were inside the home. Over 45 grams of powder and crack cocaine were found inside the garage. My garage cocaine. Damn it! They found it.
I try to have cocaine in every room in the house.
Yeah, bathroom cocaine, kitchen cocaine, solarium cocaine, the other solarium cocaine.
I like my mudroom cocaine.
Mudroom cocaine is probably the absolute best.
I mean, it's right there when you walk in. Little hit when you're leaving.
Yeah, a little booger sugar for breakfast. I like the term.
That's the start of a healthy breakfast.
I've been hearing that a lot more lately. The term booger sugar. I think that's like one of my favorite ways to describe. Other than that, and nose beers.
I've heard nose beers being used a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, I've actually heard that like a couple of times on the internet. I don't know if it's because they heard you say it or what, but it didn't appear to be people from around the area. They're using nose beers.
What about nose beers and booger sugars, or is it one and the same?
Probably one of the same. We try to keep them separate.
Santiago was arrested, and the total weight of the cocaine recovered was 44.2 grams and 15.5 grams of crack, for a total of 59.7 grams. A total of $2,728 was also seized. Oh, man. My garage money. My garage drug money.
I try to have drug money in every room in the house. Like my mudroom drug money.
Mudroom drug money. That's the best kind of drug money.
Because
the mudroom.
It's there when you get in, it's there when you get out.
Yeah, what about the foyer drug money or the foyer crack cocaine?
Yeah, that's good too. Again, that's I leave that right next to the bowl of mints.
Is it foyer or foyer?
I think the pretentious say foyer, where the average person doesn't own a foyer.
The front of the house. That's where it is, where you walk in.
The place next to the door.
It's in the foyer. That's such a... I don't like that word, foyer.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's a foyer. We're in the foyer of the building. Foyer of the home.
I don't hang with many people that have a foyer or a foyer in their home.
Oh, it's one of those words like moist. You know, it just cringes you out. Foyer. Who's got a foyer?
Not me. You're never going to see me with one of those.
Let's see. I was trying to... Let's see. Here's this kid. Police in Connecticut are searching for a suspect after a 12-year-old boy was shot for throwing a snowball at a car. You never bring a gun to a snowball fight.
No, you never. You shouldn't.
The thing. Hartford police say kids were throwing snowballs Wednesday night. One of them hit a car. The car went back around the block, and then someone in the car allegedly shot at the 12-year-old. A nearby 11-year-old was not hit. The 12-year-old was brought to Connecticut Children's Hospital, and he's expected to be okay. Police have not announced any arrest yet. Anyone with information is asked to call the Hartford police. Hey, whatever happened to the days of just yelling at kids for doing something stupid? You don't have to shoot them. Yeah, sometimes...
I think in today's world, they're trying to get the kids' attention, nose buried in their phone or tablets. They're not paying attention to what you're yelling from your front porch. Got to find other ways of grabbing their attention.
You absolutely do. But I don't think a gun is the proper way to go about that.
Probably not. It's overkill.
Yeah, a curt tone is always effective.
Yes, curt tone, stern voice. That should do it.
The deadline to get a real ID in Massachusetts is fast approaching, and according to the RMV, many residents still need one. I've been using a fake one all these years. I don't have a real ID.
I just drew a little yellow star on it thinking that would fake everybody out.
This was supposed to be implemented back in 2019, and they keep pushing the date over and over and over again for everybody to get one of these.
But you had that pandemic in the middle of it.
Yeah,
I guess so. You weren't able to actually go to a registry for a while.
No, but you know where I got mine? Well, I don't think it's even open anymore. But the Greenfield AAA office.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
Because if you're a member of AAA, you can go to the West Springfield one. They make appointments online. You go online, you make the appointment, and you don't have to worry about going to the RMV. That's something you don't want to do. That's totally worth the AAA membership.
That's why people don't want to do it, because it requires either a membership or have to stand in a line at the RMV. Who the hell wants to do that?
15 minutes it took me. To do the whole
you got
thing.
there on a lucky day. I mean, there are some of us who have been there and had to stay there for 2 hours only to find out we're in the wrong line.
But you're talking about the RMV. I'm talking about the AAA office.
AAA is simple. They simplify everything.
You make the appointment online and then you go there.
See, I got mine when I brought my daughter to the RMV at the Springfield Plaza to get her license. Mm-hmm. I applied for it the same day, and everything was fine. So I've had it for years and have never been asked to show it to enter into a federal building.
Well, you will need it to get on an airplane. That is one of the things they're going to be requiring you to do.
And I did show it during my flight to Florida.
You know, the airline rules are kind of stupid.
They're idiotic.
I mean, I can bring my kids on the airplane and nobody questions who they are other than taking my word for it.
Yes, but your daughters do look enough like you where you could say they're probably his.
Yeah, but what if you're like a foster parent and you're taking your kid to, the kid that doesn't even look anything like you?
I know. I don't get it.
Let's see. A couple of weeks ago, a 25-year-old man in Kentucky named Manja James Wooten, that's a good name, got into an argument with a Wendy's employee. It started at the drive-thru, and Manja was furious because his fries were cold.
I can see that.
Things got a little heated. The altercation, not the fries.
Yeah, the fries stayed cold.
The Manja walked into the restaurant, pulled a gun, and fired a shot. A female Wendy's worker pulled out a gun herself and returned fire.
Wait a minute. Are Wendy's employees allowed to carry guns?
Well, I guess if you work in this particular Wendy's, I don't know if you're allowed to.
You know, I've never been so disappointed at a fast food restaurant that I thought the only way to get real service was to wave a gun around and start blasting holes in the building.
Well, it's pretty effective. I mean, did you see what Michael Douglas did to the Whammy Burger and falling down?
Well, I get that.
He shot the gunshots into the air, and he was able to get his breakfast before 11:30. Think about it.
I wouldn't suggest doing that.
No, don't do that. Martin just started unloading, shooting the Wendy's worker in the buttocks and another woman that he was with who had come inside the Wendy's with him. It sounded like both women will be okay health-wise. The Wendy's worker with the gun is in a legal mess herself, though, because she was on a felony probation at the time and wasn't allowed to have a gun. She's been charged as well now. What's that? Is that the fryer, hopefully, frying back there? No, that's Dave Thomas spinning in his grave.
Whatever you do, don't shoot at the Frosty machine.
But remember, no matter what happens at a Wendy's never going to give you up, never going to let you down, never going to run around or desert you. Well, I told you we were going to do the 80s at 8:30.
Yeah, but I didn't know which one you were doing. I got it ready.
Because I said I'll have to think of it. And what better way to end a newscast on a Friday than with a Rickroll here on Rock 102.
There we go. Took a little while, but here we are and ready to rip.
What was his name? Alan Freed?
Yes.
You're no Alan Freed, sir.
Thankfully,
he could
have
had a better lead up to the intro to this song. Well, it's Rick Astley on Rock 102 WAQI.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
Welcome back to the 80s at 8:30 here on Rock 102 WAQI. Coming up, we'll hear orchestral maneuvers in the dark, as well as Simple Minds going on.
You know the game and we're gonna play it. I just want to ask me how I'm feeling. Don't tell me that you're blind to see. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you.
Anyway.
Ooh, dessert.
Yeah. No pie.
Keep that going while I do the forecast.
Yeah, it's going to be a mix of sunny clouds today. 5:30 tomorrow for your weekend. It's the weekend. Mix of sunny clouds at a high 28. It's 12 degrees. What's like a heat wave out there in downtown Springfield. Rock 102 WAQI.
Hi, Jeff Serra from Serra Ford, Lincoln and Agawam, and we've got over 800 new Fords,
Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:53. And Def Leppard with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be a mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 30. Tomorrow, more of the same with a high of 28. It's 12 right now in downtown Springfield.
It's a Shop Friday here at Rock 102 this morning at 9 o'clock. If you go to rock102.com, you could save 30% to Local Burger and Fries on the corner of downtown Northampton, on the main drag in Keene, and also Eastworks in East Hampton. I didn't realize they had... Oh, and also in Williamsburg. I didn't realize they had that many locations.
I knew about the Northampton one. I didn't realize they had other locations. Well, now, hey, listen, we're learning along with the rest of the listeners.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, it's that all starts at 9 o'clock at the Shop 30 store at rock102.com. Local Burger and Fries, 4 locations. They're all over the place. Do not miss out on 30% today from Rock 102.
I don't know what to do here. It's you can get, let's see, you want some random facts for a Friday?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
There's some random facts for all of you out there.
All right. Slap it on it.
Just thinking positively can help you live longer.
I don't think so.
Studies have found that optimism is associated with a lower risk of heart disease. And people who score highly on test of optimism live 5% to 15% longer than pessimistic people. That guy that used the C word just died this morning.
I don't know if that's true, but he certainly set himself up.
Only one NFL player weighed over 300 pounds in 1970. By 2014, there were over 400 players in the NFL who weighed over 300, and now it's closer to 500, which is 20% of the league. More than 20% of the league. They're big fat guys.
They're not fat. They're stocky.
Stocky.
Yeah, a lot of muscle on those dudes.
I call them a pansy every once in a while and see what happens to you. You know?
Yeah, I want to see you do that.
The technical term for a rumbling in your stomach, which I've been having quite a bit of. I'm going for that colonoscopy again next Friday.
Oh, no kidding.
I won't be here next Friday, so we'll have to do open lines on Thursday.
Fair enough.
For the Kim Kardashian studios.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called
Borborygmi.
You know this?
I do.
How do you know this?
Because, believe it or not, George Carlin used to do a bit about Borborygmi. What a great word that is.
Oh, well, there you go.
And it sounds just like your stomach. Borborygmi.
Bob Marley gave a songwriting credit on No Woman, No Cry to a man named Vincent Ford, who ran a soup kitchen in Jamaica. It was it was his way of making sure it would be funded forever.
That's very generous.
And he's doing comedy up in Maine all the time.
Wrong, Bob Marley.
Not the dead Rastafarian?
No, it is the dead Rastafarian. It's not the comedian from Maine.
And by age 70, your body has shed 105 pounds of skin.
In one day?
65 if you're rubbing it the right way.
Yeah!
Booyah!
There you go!
Booyah!
That's the kind of comedy you'll expect this weekend at Crestview Country Club.
That's right. And also $20 dinner and a comedy show on February 6th. By the way, comedian Mike Hanley.
Oh, he's good.
He is a very good comedian. He's going to be closing out the show at the Shortstop on February 6th, so you can get your tickets early. Because
that'll be a good show.
That'll be a sold-out show, I would imagine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's just about 8:57 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Your Echo is ready.
The Amazon. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 9:12. And Van Halen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
You still got your Spotify up?
In fact, I do.
I know you were doing the spot before about Kluwitz out in Ludlow.
Yeah.
And Eric, who, you know Eric.
Yeah, I know Eric.
It's his birthday. It was his birthday yesterday.
Shut up.
And so happy birthday to Eric from Kluwitz. You know what his last name is?
Sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the inner circle for the 90s at 9:15 should be the La 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 song.
Okay. Is that where you sure you want that?
That's where I'm going with that.
Okay, let's see what I can do here.
I wonder if he
I've been watching you. A la 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 long. A la 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 long, 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 long. Come on. A la 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 long. A la 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 long, 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 long. Hey. Standing across the room, I saw you smile. Said I wanna talk to you for a little while, but before I made my move emotions start running wild. I don't get tired, and that's no lie. I'm looking in your eyes. I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Oh, girl, and I've got this to say to you. Hey, girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. Girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more.
What is he talking about?
I don't even know. It sounds suggestive and provocative.
I'm guessing this is the way he proposed to his wife. I'm going to make you sweat.
I don't have any idea. Anyway, so happy birthday, Eric.
Yeah.
At Cluett's, Mechanic Street and where? Center Street in Ludlow.
And for bringing the 90s at 9 here on the Bax and Nagle show, this is Inner Circle with Sweat with the La 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 song.
It's 9:14 Rock 102.
Springfield's classic rock.